This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. Stick around to the end of the video to learn more about an exclusive offer. There's a new challenger in the competitive gaming space. A new challenger that is already showing incredible potential for giving us that truly unique experience we've all been craving. Something that could be massive if they play their cards right. Something that is not a battle royale where you spawn in and die in the first 30 seconds over and over again. And that challenger is called the Finals. The Finals is an objective-focused first-person shooter with elements of team play and an affinity for destruction in a 3v3v3v3 match. That's 4 teams of 3 going head-to-head. It's made by a brand new studio called Embark Studios that is made up of a bunch of industry-leading veterans that worked on things like Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, or Dirty Bomb. The objective in the Finals is really simple. Find a vault of money, open the vault while fighting off other teams, take the vault to a cash-out spot, and defend it with your life. Whichever team can secure the most cash in one match wins. Just don't let your whole team die because a team wipe will cut your money in half. Other teams can try to steal the vault before you can get to them, or they will steal your cash outs last second, so you will need to work together with your team to secure the cash. It's completely adrenaline-fueled mayhem when you're stealing or defending a cash-out spot, and the destruction is completely game-changing, literally. The destruction within the game can be so intense that it can completely reshape the flow of battle by cutting off entire walking paths, blowing up entire buildings, or making shortcuts through buildings by blowing them up with rockets, C4, or just using the heavy character to charge through 4 walls like the frickin' Hulk. This is more than your typical destruction, and it's way more destruction than I've seen in a game since the original Red Faction games. The destruction allows you to think tactically about your approach to areas, or allows strategic defense, like blowing up staircases so the enemy has a much harder time reaching the cash out. And the level of destruction is only made possible by putting all of the destruction calculations on the server side instead of the client side. So all the players can see the same bits of debris, and it allows them to really get crazy with the amount of breakables the sandbox can actually handle. It is truly a sight to behold when you're in the middle of a gunfight and the building that you're in has the supports blown out and the entire building starts to crumble. Or when you're trying to surprise the enemy that's defending their cash out, so you use a breaching charge to blast a hole in the ceiling and throw in a bunch of fire grenades into that room. And it's not like Battlefield's Levolution, this is entirely dynamic destruction. So in Battlefield you would have these giant buildings crumbling into the ground, but they would all crumble in the exact same way every single time. This game does dynamic destruction, so no 2 matches will ever feel the same. And when you add in the extremely addicting gunplay, the matches really come alive. Each weapon has their own distinct feel and its own super small learning curve, but it's not too steep. Most weapons are fairly straightforward, they just maybe require learning the maximum range or recoil control for each weapon. Or like in the revolver's case, you need to learn how to pace your shots to hit all of the headshots like you do with hand cannons in Destiny. In this beta, we saw a handful of weapons such as the M1 Garand, the M60, a bolt-action sniper, a silenced pistol, revolver, sledgehammer, and a knife, just to name a few of them. And holy crap, each of these weapons is so fun to use. My 2 favorite weapons so far from the beta that we saw was the revolver and the assassin's blade knife. The revolver, like I mentioned earlier, feels very similar to hand cannons in Destiny, which is mainly why I loved it so much. I love using hand cannons in Destiny a lot, and that feeling of needing to pace your shots to get max damage with headshots and destroying anything in just a few hits, it feels so satisfying in this game too. But it does fire quite slow, so you need to hit your headshots so you can actually outdamage your opponents before they kill you. And the knife? Well, the knife is just made for Team Fortress 2 players. The knife does small amounts of damage with each regular stab, so you have to be extremely cautious with how you approach enemies. It requires you to actually think tactically when you're engaging with any situation, so you can actually sneak up behind an enemy and stab them in the back for a one-hit kill. Even heavy builds can be one-hit killed with a well-placed backstab with the knife. And if you combine the knife with the light build's active camo ability, it's a super deadly combo, letting you completely break away from combat to sneak around your enemies and backstab them again is insane. The invisibility in this game is really amazing. It's extremely hard to detect people that are using it, so the players who get good with the invisibility will definitely show and will be a menace to any unsuspecting teams. And also, speaking of the abilities in the game, like the invisibility, I should mention that each weight class has their own unique abilities that let someone play that class the way they want to. So if you and your friends all want to play the medium class, you can all equip different main abilities to help your team in different ways. One of you can use the healing beam, which is straight up just Mercy from Overwatch, and the other one can use the auto turrets that can hold down a cash out location better than most people can. And the third person can actually use their recon senses to see other players through walls for a short duration, in a limited range of course, not too OP. And the light and heavy classes have their own abilities as well, like the invisibility that you've seen me use in the video, or the heavy charge and the slam ability as well. But on top of the weapons and the abilities, you also get to choose from a wide variety of gadgets to go into your loadouts. The gadgets can include pretty standard things like frag grenades, fire grenades, or C4, but they can also include really unique things like goo grenades, which the goo grenades allow you to spawn a portable defensive wall to hide behind or block doorways with. And another couple gadgets are things like the glitch trap, glitch grenade, which acts like EMP mines or grenades. But there's just a lot of other gadgets in the game like gas mines, jump pads, night vision, tracking darts, zip lines, and just a bunch more. There's a lot of different gadgets to fit basically every playstyle. And one of the tiniest yet coolest features that I saw in the finals was the fact that wherever you shot an enemy would glow yellow, so you could actually see where the shot landed. This kind of helps a lot in this kind of a game, because the entire game, like I mentioned, is running off of the game's servers. So you can use this feature to track why your headshot didn't connect, or why the backstab didn't count. I don't know of any other game that actually has something like this, and it just shows the creativity and ingenuity these developers are actually trying to put in this game. But the real magic of the game, to a lot of the players so far, happens when you experience the stellar movement systems in this game. When you add the aforementioned features together along with the movement system, you can actually get something that felt very similar to Titanfall or maybe Apex. You can use zip lines to cut across areas really fast, jumping off at the end of the zip line to get a boost of speed, and then when you land you hit the crouch button to slide even further while maintaining all of that momentum, or sliding down ramps or stairs to gain speed faster. You can even just sprint slide regularly to get a boost of speed while playing in the light class, and this will allow you to catch up to medium and heavy classes way easier. So when you're running around with a knife, sprint sliding is a tactic you're going to want to use to close big gaps super fast. But there's also like ledge grabbing or man-tilling that's extremely flexible and forgiving, so you can make these crazy long distance jumps like you're playing Mirror's Edge or Assassin's Creed, and you'll more than likely pull yourself up. This allows you to be really creative when you're trying to find ways to the cash out rooms or trying to run away from engagements. You can also find your own paths in and out of buildings besides using the doors or blowing a hole in the wall. Plus, the jump pad can be used in so many different ways, it really lets you get creative with the flow through the maps like a concrete jungle. And did I mention that there's a grappling hook too? Because there is. You can swing around like Spider-Man if Spider-Man had a small cooldown on his web swinging, and it's really incredible. Let's just say that the movement is so fun that the movement kids have really taken to the game and have discovered some, let's say, interesting ways to move around the map. And honestly, all that we're missing here is a form of wall running, and this would be right up there with the movement systems like Titanfall. If they keep this movement, you will eventually see some players that are doing some unbelievably mind-blowing things for cool TikTok clips, and the skill ceiling will be so much higher than like any other shooter. Not that it'll be super hard for new players to come in and have a good time, but if you've been playing the game for long enough, your potential skill ceiling will be much higher once you have learned to master all of the little nuances in the movement and stuff. And the movement wouldn't be as fun without good map design, which in my opinion the maps in this game have so much variety. Not only are they similar to Battlefield maps in the sense of having small pockets of chaos all around the map, like you can either see everyone or no one depending on the match, just on a smaller scale compared to like Battlefield, but each zone of the map offers a different set of choke points or defensive positions. There's rooms with only a few access points, or sections of the map that can only be accessed by a giant bounce pad or man cannon things, whatever they are, or like a rope dangling off the side. But as I said, if you play the light build, you can just roleplay Spider-Man with the grappling hook, or if you're the medium, you can use the zipline gadget to make your own pathways across the map. Plus, there's this one section on one of the maps where it's 3 floating platforms with very little cover, and sometimes the cash out terminal can spawn on this thing, these floating platforms, and defending it can be an absolute nightmare. So to any future teammates of mine, don't plant the cash out here. It's like landing at tilted towers in Fortnite. You're just asking to die and have all of your stuff stolen. And it gets really fun when you start noticing all of the little pathways that you didn't notice at first. Like if you only play the heavyweight class, you won't notice the small vents that most walls have. These vents can be shot or stabbed to open a pathway for all of the small characters to sneak in and out of danger, or using them as shortcuts around the enemies. Or, like walking out onto a balcony, you realize that your character has a 6-foot vertical leap, it seems, and can grab onto ledges way higher than you thought they could grab onto. And how much verticality these maps are going to have, you're going to want to get creative with the parkour. And then once you add in the weather system, the day-night cycle that each map has, they really do feel different each time you play them. There was only 2 maps in the beta, but it kind of felt like there was like 3 or 4, because of how different each map could feel with the day-night cycle and the weather. Like, I played on one of the maps during nighttime with fog, and it was perfect for me to run around like Jack the Ripper with my stealthy light build backstabbing people. But then the very next match was sunny and super clear weather, and it was super beautiful, and it was perfect conditions for a sniper to see across the map. But overall, the maps in this game felt really fun to play on, and we started exploring the maps, the sandbox, and getting to experience that with all the destruction and everything like that. That's where the game really opens up. And then you start to figure out the little nuances in the movement, and it just feels incredible. You can definitely tell these developers are trying to make the most fun experiences that they can. Like in the game, they have these extra match effects that can go off at random intervals, and they can completely change the flow of the game. Examples of this would be like low gravity, which isn't just like higher jumps or slightly higher jumps. It lets you completely soar in the skies if you jump off of a jump pad, and your grenades will completely fly across the map. Or the effect of Dead Go Boom, which makes any person that's killed act like an explosion of TNT. So melee builds have to be very cautious with that one. But this one is so much fun because it can blow up buildings and also other players, even if on the same team. Other ones are effects like mega damage or mega destruction. If they can keep adding more of these match effects though, it will make the game feel so unique, and that's kind of the beauty of the finals already. It really feels unique. So lastly though, I do want to talk about the potential cringe spot for a lot of people. The Battle Pass. Yes, this game does have a Battle Pass as well, but at least in this game it is purely cosmetic items, and you're not locked out of certain guns until like a third of the way through the free version of the Battle Pass, like Battlefield 2042 does. It's just weapon skins, weapon trinkets, character outfits, and a stick, I guess? And if the Beta Pass is anything to go off of, then it won't be that hard to max it out. You can get levels really fast on it, especially if you play just enough to keep your dailies and weeklies kind of going. That's where a ton of your XP comes from. The daily or weekly challenges are not hard to complete. It's just stuff like deal 5,000 damage with ranged weapons, or play 3 rounds as a heavy, or play a match in quick play. It should only take you about 2 to 3 hours maybe at the longest to get all of your dailies done. And the weekly challenges are the same, just on a bigger scale. It's like play 10 matches as a heavy or something. I really do love how they made the challenges extremely doable even if you're a parent or have a super busy schedule. These challenges will not make you rage or panic to get them done in 2 hours at the end of your night. They are busy person friendly. And the cosmetic items that we saw in the beta so far were actually pretty cool. And I would love to see what else they're going to come up with for the shop and for the Battle Pass and stuff like that too. So, overall, this beta was a lot of fun and was incredibly impressive. And if they do it right, the finals could be the exact thing that we need to shake up the multiplayer scene. It doesn't seem to have skill-based matchmaking, so there's no need to worry about getting stomped game after game. But I do believe in these developers and their ability to actually patch bugs or add new content, because in the beta we saw them drop like 3 or 4 patches for the game, ranging from like general tweaks to bug fixes to balancing changes too. So hopefully I have convinced you to give this game a shot whenever it actually comes out. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk on the finals. I hope you guys got excited for the game and are going to look forward to playing it. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video as well. I did put a lot of work into this, so that would help me out greatly if you guys did do that. And feel free to subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye, guys. Are you tired of spending a fortune on groceries and eating out? Well, HelloFresh has got you covered. With their meal kits delivered straight to your door, you can enjoy delicious and healthy home-cooked meals without breaking the bank. And the best part, with my exclusive 60% discount link, you can enjoy free shipping on your first order as well. So don't miss out on this incredible deal. Use my code now to start enjoying delicious meals at a fraction of the cost. Your wallet and taste buds will thank you for it.